Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Two Tutors Talking. I am your lovely host, Audrey Codner, and we have another wonderful guest. I know I've been on hiatus for a moment, but when I come back with a banger. So we have an awesome tutor right here that is in Ohio. I know I'm traveling all over the place, and she basically focuses on third and to sixth grade math and reading. So let me introduce to you Miss Bridget. Hi, Bridget.
Hi, how are you, Audrey?
I'm good. I'm so glad that you're able to come to Two Tutors Talking. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am the CEO of Tutor Time with Bridget. I am currently still a classroom teacher. I've been teaching for 28 years. And I decided that since I'm close to retirement, I'd like to continue teaching. And so I got into tutoring.
That's awesome. I know it's all the education, no matter what. When we're in there, teachers, like we will figure out a way to keep it going as best as we can.
Yes.
So when you decided to do tutoring, is this your first time go around or were you tutoring before?
I was actually tutoring before. A couple years ago, I was tutoring for a bigger company, and it wasn't compatible with my daughter's sports schedule, so I had to stop doing that. And I got an email from one of my former students' parents asking if I was still tutoring. So I jumped on that opportunity to do one-on-one tutoring. And then the very next day, I came across you online and said, this needs to be a go. This is a sign that I need to start my own tutoring business.
Right. And everyone likes to start with the third party type of business. And I'm just kind of wondering, I always ask people, I'm like, what was so attractive to do that third party business?
Well, one of the reasons I started with the third party business is because I teach middle school currently, and I wanted to get back with working with the littler kids, the younger kids. And so it was basically a company that focused mainly on reading. They had some math, but since I'm a language arts teacher, I thought, well, I only can teach reading. So that's one of the reasons I joined that platform.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I think a lot of us, some people will be like, I didn't know, or when this is what I saw. So some people are like, hey, I'm always seeing like the third party. Well, let me join in. And then when you kind of get into it, you're like, wait a minute, something's up. Or, you know what? I think it's time for me to branch out and to do my own. That's awesome.
Yes,
So,
I was just wondering working with the scheduling and all the things, and I thought, well, I can branch out and do this myself and make my own schedule. And so that's one of the reasons that I decided to go out on my own.
nice. And then what are some of the things that you're noticing with some of your sessions?
One of the things I'm noticing with my sessions is that I can be more personable because it's my way of teaching, not the way that I had to do the sessions that were given to me from the bigger company. And so I liked that I had the freedom to choose how I wanted to do each one of my sessions. And so I like to meet with the kids first, and get to know them and see what they're into, all their interests. And then I build those interests into my lessons that I do with them. And depending on their age group, is how the session goes.
Nice. Now, when you have are you doing like 45 minutes, to an hour, like roughly, like how long are your sessions?
So I currently am doing 45 minutes. I started with one of my students at a 30-minute session because the parent wasn't sure how well they would do after 30 minutes. So we started with 30 minutes and build up to 45. And I do sessions up to an hour.
So when they all have the sessions and they're breaking down concepts, like what do you notice that the kids that are coming in, like is there like a trend that you're starting to see, like missing areas, or like what are you noticing?
I am noticing that there's lots of gaps in their learning from the pandemic is where I'm noticing it the most, is that because of the pandemic and the online learning and things that they had to go to, many of them really struggle with those pieces that they missed during COVID. So the gaps that they have are showing in their schoolwork, their grades. Parents are going to parent conferences and realizing, oh, they don't know that. We need to find somebody who can help them.
Yes. And especially like sometimes parents are not sure or they're just like assuming that everything is going to be happening. The kids going to school. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. But sometimes we have to understand that, there's one teacher and there's like 30, in some people's cases, 40 kids in a classroom. So it's really hard to give that individual attention. So if we have someone to kind of be the translator, if you want to say, or just basically give that child that extra time that he or she needs to kind of process some of those things so they can, take it and run with it, especially at the young age.
Yes, exactly. I currently, in my classrooms, have over 30 kids, and it's really difficult as a classroom teacher to get to all of them and meet all their needs. So through tutoring, it's really one of my main goals is to make sure that I know specifically what their needs are so that we can get the results that they need fast.
That'd be great. Now, if anything, like sometimes, as we're saying, we wait till the parent teacher conference. And sometimes that's a little bit late, especially we as teachers, we're like, if you need a tutor, you should start in September. But, and they're like, start as soon as possible. But what are some things that maybe parents can kind of look for? And you can talk on both the reading and the math. Like, what are some things that they need to look for that might be like, you know what? I think my child may need a tutor.
One thing in both subject areas is confidence. How confident are they with their letter sounds, sight words, reading fluency? How fast can they read? And not only can they read quickly, but are they comprehending what they're reading? Because that is the main piece, is reading comprehension. You can read as fast as you can, but at the end of the day, do you know what you just read? And so for reading, it's focusing on, do you know your letter sounds? Do you know the blends? Do you know all those basic phonics reading skills that they may have missed during the pandemic? And so that's the place to start. And then if they know that, then the fluency piece would be next. Just seeing, can they read fluently? And if not, then we need to work on that with the decoding piece and doing those types of skills before we move on to reading comprehension. In math, the biggest thing that I see is math facts. Students don't know their math facts, and in any type of math, especially elementary math, you need to know your facts. It's going to help you tremendously if you can make sure that you know your addition, subtraction, multiplication, division facts, because it'll carry over into all the different concepts.
I mean, just the fact that you have that crucial area that really heavily impacted them for the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Because if we think about it, remember, it's been 4 years ago, and I know it seems like so far away, but it really isn't. And we're still trying to recover from that. Especially if you have kids that are in third and fourth grade, I'm starting to see a lot of parents asking for tutors for their fifth graders, because it goes beyond just 1 + 1 or knowing your 10 values and all that. It starts doing the advancing, trying to find the unknown and everything else. So,
and also because it builds, everything's a building block. And if there's an influx in fourth and fifth graders, parents right now, that's because those kids were in kindergarten and first grade, where a lot of those foundational skills were taught. And it's really difficult, to teach those remotely when you're 5 and 6 years old every single day and expecting them to sit for however many hours it is. So that's the beauty of tutoring. They only have to focus for 30 to 45 minutes, depending on the need. And that way they know that, okay, I can get up from the computer and go do something else that I want to do. And so that's really key also, is with those younger kids, making sure that you're doing different activities with them that they get buy-in and that they're interested in, so that you can keep their attention.
Exactly. All right. So almost close to lastly, like, what makes you a little more unique than, there's tons of other reading and math tutors, and I go through the same thing. But it's like, what kind of makes you a little bit unique compared to other tutors?
Well, I've been in the classroom a long time, and I have taught many different grade levels. I've taught kindergarten, first grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, and seventh grade. So just that variety of experience, and also with my own kids, I have 4 of my own, and seeing some of the struggles that they've had to go through in reading and math. And so I see as from the parent side how stressful that can be. You're like, why can't they do this? Or what's wrong? They're not getting it. I need help. And a lot of times I'll get parents that say to me, well, I don't know math, so my kid's not going to be good at math either. And that's not true. That's not true. And that's a myth that parents feel that because they aren't great at it, that their kid's not going to be great at it. And I try to debunk that myth a lot of times, because that's truly what parents believe. And so with my own kids and their struggles, and then being in the classroom for 28 years, just that experience really helps you to see the variety of needs that these kids need and the gaps that they have. And then you have all the strategies that you've learned over those years to help them learn it.
Perfect, because I know I hear it so much. Yeah, I wasn't good at math. My husband or my boyfriend at the time wasn't good at math. My mother's not good at math. My great grandmother's not good at math. Really? How many generations you gonna go back? Like, it's okay. Just to say, yeah, you didn't have the experience, but don't pass that. And sometimes we don't, or sometimes parents don't realize that you do pass that on, because it's almost like the kids are like, oh, okay, you weren't good at math? All right, cool. That means I'm not good at math, so I can stop trying. No,
yes.
we really want the kids to try.
And also, if you're the only adult in the house, sometimes the kids will say, well, I'll just wait for dad to get home, or I'll wait for so-and-so to get home. They can help me. And it's like, no, you can do it. You just have to have the confidence. It goes back to having that confidence that they can learn how to do the content that they're learning.
That's awesome. Yes. So now we have an idea, like parents, what to look for, notice that they want to play video games more so than reading a book, or they rather do anything else except for to do a math problem. Now you have an idea, and now you have a resource to kind of help you with your kid at that age level, to really help with building those foundational skills. So now they can be independent learners and be able to advocate for themselves, because that's basically the end result. So now, upcoming events is something that I like to put up there. So, like, do you have any, openings? Are you have any spots, or what's going on?
I currently am filling up spots in my fall schedule, and they will be for the school year. And then also I am opening up spots for pairing and small group tutoring. That's going to be something new that I'm going to be doing. I usually only do individuals. So this will give parents a choice on how do they think their child learns best, with individual, small group, or even just being paired with another student.
Nice. Great. So next thing, how do we reach her? Let's see, how can we reach Bridget? Again, 3rd through 6th grade, reading and math. It'll be best for online, because you can learn online. Guys, please, do not let what happened during the pandemic scare you. Okay? That was early on. A lot of people didn't know what was going on. A lot of teachers that it was new for everyone. But now, 4 years, we're really starting to get into the mix of it. So don't be afraid of online tutoring. At least give it a chance. Give it a try. So how can we reach you?
So I currently have a website. It's bridgethauser.com. I also have a Facebook page that's called Tutor Time with Bridget. And then I have the Google phone number that you can call or text me, and it's 513-428-9801.
Perfect. So again, I know I went through it pretty quickly, but there's always the replay. You can get to that. So we have her website that is listed right underneath me. I don't know why it's on that side, but it's always on that side. So we have a Bridget, and then we have her Facebook. Definitely reach out, even if you have questions and you're like, okay, before I do anything, you can reach her out on her Facebook, as well as just shoot her a text. We're all into it. Shoot her a text, maybe give her a call. Try not to be scammy. Just say what you need to say. Because usually we don't do with the phone numbers, but we're trying to really reach as many students as we can possible to basically give you the results that you want, which is having an independent learner. All right. Well,
Absolutely.
Bridget, thank you so much for coming in. If there's anything else you wanted to add before we close up.
I'm just wanting to say that you can, I'm going to reiterate what Audrey said. We have so many different tools and strategies that we can use for online learning now that it is so fun for the kids and they really get into it. So please don't shy away from the online learning platform, even though it wasn't the way it is now back in the pandemic. And also just know that there's help available for you. You don't have to struggle trying to figure out, how am I going to help my child? There are people out here that are willing to help you, and Audrey and I are here to help you any way we can.
Yes, we are. Well, Bridget, thank you so much again for taking the time out for Two Tutors Talking. And parents, definitely reach out. If you are a tutor and you need some assistance with your tutoring business, come and reach out. If you want to be a guest on Two Tutors Talking, you can reach out as well. But if you're a parent that is looking for something for younger age, or if you're looking for someone that's older, you can reach either Bridget or myself through our platforms, we should say, our social media platforms. And then we'll just take it from there. So once again, thank you so much for being